Your carbon emissions are now public. Are you ready to defend them? Because carbon accountability just took a massive leap forward, and before you know it, you might find yourself being a headline of a story. So the question here really is, are you ready to defend your effort on combating climate change and how it has developed over time? My name is Jasper Steinhausen, and this is Outside Perspective, where, as usual, I give you perspectives on issues in the intersection between sustainability and business. ClimateTrace.org is a website that you should check out. It launched fairly just a few weeks or months ago, and it will display 1.8 million sources of carbon, all the biggest ones anywhere in the world, and it's based on nothing less than 640 million sources of carbon emissions. And what's really dramatically upping the game here is that the data here is a maximum of 2 months old. So the old game of hiding behind the fact that normally they used to be 2 to 3 years old, and so people could just come out and say, oh, we've done so much since these data, so it's a completely different situation now. Well, that game is definitely over. Now it's almost real time if you compare to the old way of doing it. So if you look at climatetrace.org, you can go in and you can segment depending on either sectors or geography or a combination thereof. So for instance, I live in Denmark. If I just type in Denmark, I will instantly see on a map where are the biggest emitters, and then I can click on them and I can find out how has their emissions developed over time. So basically it means that if you are a large emitter and you haven't already have full control and a massive focus and effort on climate change, you are really in high risk of finding yourself as a cover story very soon. Because my projection here is that influencers, bloggers, journalists around the world is going to flock to this tool very soon and start looking for companies that they find are not doing something and not doing enough, that they stand out some way. So the question is really, do you stand out? Do you stand out for good or for bad? So if you don't, and if you're thinking, well, how do I do this? How do I react? Here's a quick guide to what I would do if I were you. So I would start by looking at this entire sustainability and climate thing from a strategic point of view. Look at what is your current position on this. How are you positioning your business or your city, if that's the case? How are you positioning in this? And how does it fit to who you are and what you do? And for some, this means you might have to revisit your mission or vision or mission purpose statement, but I would do that. That's well worth the effort. From there on, look at what are the biggest issues that you're looking at right now. What's the highest priorities in the business? Stuff you need to get done. And the same for your ideal clients and the people you serve. And then map out all the steps you could see, all the initiatives you could possibly imagine that would help combat climate change, and then filter them up against those high priorities. So you end up with a list or roadmap or plan or whatever you want to call it, that are filled with, majority are filled with steps that are both high value for your business and has an impact on the world. And then it's really all about starting to implement. But the good thing is that all the initiatives that you have now put on your roadmap that you want to work with are all high value. So gone will be the days where you make a plan but nothing really happens. Because if you do all of this and somebody will start calling on you, well, then you have a far better answer and you will be on track to start to do something meaningful. So whether or not you're being tracked, whether or not you'll end up in a headline, you will make the world a better place and you will increase your business and you will gain tremendous value on so many levels that you will start to see once you get out there. So climatetrace.org, have a look at it. If you have any comments, put them below. Obviously, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. I'd love to have you here. I'll see you in another video. Bye.